Psalm 50. The mighty God, even the Lord, hath spoken, and called the earth from the rising of the sun unto the going down thereof. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God hath shined. Our God shall come, and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He shall call to the heavens from above, and to the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for God is judge himself, Selah. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel. And I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings, to have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he-goats out of thy folds. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee, but the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. But unto the wicked God saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, and thou consentedst with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. Whoso offereth praise glorifieth me, and to him that ordereth his conversation aright will I show the salvation of God.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing. Salutation to the whole flock out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to a whole flock that believes, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. And what I want to get into, all right, this evening, dealing with the American dream was a snare. Okay, the American dream was a snare. All right, and what we have to understand is that America is a corporation. All right, that's brought and paid for by the elite banking system. Okay, and the president, just like you have a president of a company, okay, is nothing but a servant. All right, under the elites. Okay, is a hired servant under the elites. That's why it doesn't matter. Okay, which political office, all right, which political party wins the office, they all are servants, okay, for the same elite bankers. Okay, so that's why you have a president of America is nothing but, all right, the top servant of the corporation of America. You know, so we're gonna get into these things. Let me open this. Open this Gmail up. Get a few. Got a few videos I want to get into. A little article. You know, break a few things down, and we'll go from there. Let me get this open. All right, so I'm gonna get a few precepts, and then we'll go into some videos. All right, and a lot of people, you know, and we was in it when we was in it in the masses. You know, we was in the darkness as well. You know, we was caught up in the hype. You know, the American dream. You know, wandering after the whore. You know, we thought this was the way. We thought Westernization, okay, living out of the flesh, okay, pretty much worshiping ourselves or worshiping the thing, being a slave to lust, whatever we was into, we was a slave, to the American dream, the so-called American dream, but it was all a snare. And see, people are finna learn out the hard way, okay, that this place was a big snare of the elite banking families. So let's get a few precepts, and then we'll go into those videos. All right, and try to hit the points. This is the book of Mark. All right, which we always get. The book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 22, and it says, "For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad." Okay, and everything is being manifested. We're in a time, all right, of Esau Edom being revealed more than ever. Okay, first off, the so-called white man is being identified as an Edomite. Okay, and secondly, you have the higher ups, Amalek, these banking families, and their wicked satanic agenda of world domination is coming abroad. Okay, Esau is being made bare, as the scriptures say. Let's get that in Jeremiah. Okay, 49. Okay, started we read 10. It says this is Jeremiah 49 and 10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Okay, so Esau is being made bare, and it's to the point that, as we're going to get, he's to the point where he's just going to come out with it. You know, he's ready to just come out because people, he's been working on the people for centuries. See, this ain't no plan that just came about in 2020. Okay, this man has been doing this for centuries. Okay, decades. All right, upon decades, several decades of planning, plotting, scheming, infiltrating. Okay, enchantments, psyops. Okay, to get to this point. Okay, and now he has everybody. The mass is so stupefied that he's ready to just come out and say what it is, man. Okay, they're getting a little bolder when they make certain statements, especially when you listen to the WF, the World Economic Forum. Okay, their spokesman, Noah Yuval Harari. Okay, and then Klaus Schwab. They getting a little more bold. Okay, they're ready to remove all these different governments of the world and present themselves as, all right, the kings of the earth, man. Okay, but what's happening is he's been uncovered. His secret places are being uncovered. All right, and his exposure is going to lead to his downfall. It says, "See the spoil and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." Yeah, because his exposure will come before, okay, you have this war, in which in this war he's going to be exposed. I mean, he's going to be spoiled, okay, because in this war there's going to be a lot of Edomites fighting Edomites, okay, a lot of these nations fighting against each other, okay, to establish themselves in this new world order. All right. But nah, he's going to be a spoil of war, which he's going into captivity, okay, and his rulership is going to vanish out the earth, okay. But it starts with this man being made bare, okay, being uncovered. Now, I want to go here. The brother out of Orlando, Eliasha Woman, did a lesson, and you have the brother out of Orlando. He's pretty much going into, how America was always set up to be a snare. Okay, so we're gonna let him speak on it, and then we're gonna get into some more videos. Some more precepts going into it. Let's see. So you will let this play. Then we expound in the spirit. All right. And see, this is the working of the elites. You see, these low-level Edomites, they don't have a clue of how deep the wickedness goes in this society. Okay? They just know they've been able to enjoy, so-called white privilege, man, which is really Edomite privilege. Okay? And they, there's a hatred that they have for Jake, but they don't understand the inner workings of the higher ups. Okay? They have established this society. Okay, they have established, America, and gave this, illusion of freedom and liberty, okay, and hope. Okay, and that's why they're going to snatch it away, and you're going to have, and they're going to dangle, they so-called liberty, hope, and freedom, and return to normalcy. They're going to dangle that as bait for the masses to take their seat here, man. Okay, they setting up to demonize the prophets. Okay, which is going to ultimately, the Lord is going to allow the famine of the word, and the devil is going to go forward with establishing his NWO. These are the times we're in. It's going to get real crazy. It's going to get real violent and grimy out here, man. So let me let this play.
White supremacists. So what they did was they started off with the right wing, the Proud Boys, and all of those different organizations, and cracked down on them, and then slid in the paperwork for black identity extremists. Because we know ultimately this truth is the only threat to Esau society. All right? Because you have a lot of those so-called white supremacists that are in the army and in high levels of government. So really that's just a justification for them to come down on brothers. All right? When you look at it and you understand prophecy, which is important, this is how the famine of the word is created. All right? It's going to come from all angles. And right now they're using these things to coerce people into doing their agenda and their will. You're going to have these Edomites that commit sedition because they don't realize what America was. All right? America was ultimately a snare and a trap. All right? This is why the Lord said this. All right? This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 9. No, Salakia, verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. All right. Because again, America was a snare. All right. It was a science experiment. All right. That was set up by the elites. It was set up to trap men. It was set up to trap the souls of men, to give people a warped view of reality. And this is why so many people want to come here. When you think about the red-blooded Edomites that hold fast to the American dream, what's the biggest parts of that dream? The freedom of speech, all right, the freedom of religion. Well, they're going around the Constitution to use these major institutions that everybody needs to survive to get people to move the way they want them to move. But the selling point was the American dream. That was the bait. And this is why the switch is going to be flipped. And most people are not going to be prepared for it because they thought that this was more than a dream. They thought this was more than what it was. This was always set up as a snare. It wasn't set up for people to invest in it for generation to generation. It wasn't built to last forever. If that makes sense. Matter of fact, let's go here.
It was all a dream. Okay? It was all game. Okay? It was nothing but hype. It was game. And like the brother said, they use America to give people a very warped sense of reality, man. That's why, you look at America and you compare it to, you know, um, other countries, like Ghana, okay, Nigeria, and you see that those nations still have particular standards that still set in place. Okay, order between man and a woman. Okay, no alphabet, agenda. Okay, and what you see in the West has a very warped way of thinking. There's people in the West that are hoping that science is able to get men pregnant. There's people in the West, that tell you that there's, you know, over 20, 50, all right, different, you know, different sexes, man. Okay. There's, well, you can marry a cell phone, you can marry a tree. Okay. It's a very warped way of reality. And America has pretty much been the elite's playground for wickedness, man. Okay. Let's get a few precepts, and feminism, that was all game, because the same things that they push in society, they don't practice it amongst them. Now they do, the alphabet thing, they freaky deaky, but with the elite banking families, ain't no goddamn women's equality. Okay, ain't no the Rothschild women ain't running around talking about some goddamn equality, man. Okay, the elites, it's a patriarchy amongst the elites. Okay, the men run that. Okay, but they give the masses feminism and women's equality and women's liberation to cause chaos and confusion, because it's easier to run a society and implement BS. Okay, when everyone's at war against each other, man. Okay, street culture, all those things was a gimmick. Democracy, all those things were nothing but gimmicks. It was all game. Okay, the elites get, all these different institutions, all these different movements. The elites funded those things. Okay, put it in the loop on this media. Okay, and gave it to the masses for a culture. Okay, so now let's go from there. So let's get a few precepts. All right, let's get this, and then we'll go to another. Let's go to Isaiah 13, because it calls Babylon the what? And we have to understand that the elites are the modern day Chaldeans. All right, this is Isaiah 13 and 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Okay, because America was looked at as the land of gold, the land of opportunity. It was the glory, okay, of the kingdoms of the earth. All right, all these nations looked up and were influenced by who? America. Everyone looked up to America as their great standard of how to live. And America, and at least sold America to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world started to, all right, conform, all right, to American standards, all right, Westernization, and ultimately started to conform to Satanism, that do as thou wilt, self worship, okay, living after your lust, okay, feminism, all those things, are linked to Satanism. Okay, it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So it says the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency. All right, because America has been the elites. All right, golden child. Okay, so let's see what excellency go into. No. All right, you go into excellency. Nahun, nah, got one. Okay, there's an exaltation, their pride, arrogance, in the bad sense. Okay, and America has been the elite's boast. Okay, the elites that have boasted in America. That's why they financed America like they financed. Okay, that's why they put a lot of investments in America to be that wicked influence in the earth, man. Okay, it goes to word beauty. See what it say. Mm. Say Thagara in Hebrew, Thagara. Okay, yep. It says beauty, splendor. Okay, of rank. Okay, of rank or renown. Okay, so these elites, all right, America has been that top ranked nation of the elites. Okay, and especially after World War II, America rose to the top rank. That's when you had the American dollar become the world reserve currency. Okay, replacing the British pound. Okay, America pretty much had this top rank. That's why America known as the Lady of Kingdoms. Okay, or the Mistress of Witchcraft. All right, because the earth is like the elite's house because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, and the woman of the house, she would be the one that would keep house. She would uh, uh, keep order. Okay, within the house. Okay, and America has been in their position of the elite says that is like a lady of the house, man, the mistress. You know the mistress of the house, and the mistress is a feminine way of saying master. Okay, that's why America is able to go throughout the earth and have its way because it has had that top rank. Okay, with the elites backing them, man. But it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellence shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, because this is what the elites about, lewdness. When you go into Satanism, it's about lewdness and filth. Okay, but that creates a haven, all right, a atmosphere for demons to dwell in lewdness and filth. Okay, and America has been that place. All right, with the same lewdness of ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, but it's going to get that same destruction. Okay, so let's go from there. Let me cue up this next video. All right, what we have to understand. So let's go here. All right, let's go back. So I found this little article, this little chart. Let me share it. I found this chart because as we hear about the Illuminati and all these different things, you have to understand this was always a plan to establish a one world order. Okay, and it started back centuries ago, man, over 200 years ago. Okay, before even the American, all right, Constitution, the American Revolution, the war in 1776. Okay, the ending in 1776 was that July 4th. Okay, and niggas, and no one celebrates July 4th like a nigga, man. They have no clue what they're referencing, man. Okay, so hold on, let me make it a little bigger. Um, okay, it should be good. All right. Let me know if y'all can see those words. I'm trying to make it big. Uh, and we'll read down on it. So let's go here and understand the beginning of what they call the Illuminati, okay, and how America was the was pretty much the experiment of running, okay, a society based off Illuminati doctrine, man. Okay, what they call enlightenment, okay, which is really nothing but Satanism, man. All right, so let's okay, come. All right, let's read it. This is a Rothschild's 25-point plan for installing the New World Order. All right, so it says in 1770, Mayor Amschel Rothschild hired, all right, the small hat born, as you can see the word, okay, Adam Weisenhower. See, everybody, when they speak about the Illuminati, they speak about Adam Weisenhower as if he's, just the founder, of the Illuminati, but he was hired, okay, by the Rothschild family, the banking cartel family of the Rothschild, okay? It says an apostate Jesuit trained professor of canon law to revise and modernize Illuminism, the worship of Satan, okay? The worship of Satan, all right? All these ideologies that dominate America, all right, are rooted in Satanism. That's why you can look at what's that nigga? Lil Nas X. Okay, you got all these rappers. Okay, because rap is like the new rock and roll. You know, well, what Jake is what pushing Satanism. That's the end goal for these elites. Okay, is a new world order under Satan. Okay, and it says with the objective of world domination and the imposition of the Luciferian ideology upon its peoples. Okay, it said thereafter, in the year 1773, of our Lord Rothschild, it says our Lord Rothschild assembled 12 wealthy men in Frankfurt and asked them to commit their resources into the building and ultimate com- uh, completion of his New World Order. Furthermore, he then presented his infamous 25-point plan that would enable them to gain control of the world's wealth, natural resources, and manpower. Okay? And these banking cartels, all right, are over all the resources, okay? The world's wealth, all right, and the manpower, which is, these major manufacturers, okay, because they get your government in debt to them, okay, and if the government is in debt, all right, everyone has to pay taxes to who? The government. So really, you're paying taxes to who? The elites, because the governments are indebted to the elites through these big IMF, okay, unitary money fund, okay, international money fund. I'm saying it right. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. IMF. Yeah, the International Monetary Fund. Okay, which when you go into it, it says the International Monetary Fund, all right, or IMF, is an organization of 190 countries. Now, there's only 193 countries in the world. So you have 193 countries, okay, that operate, okay, with the money of the International Monetary Fund. So they have pretty much the whole world indebted to them. The earth is literally given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, and if you're in debt to the bankers, that means that the people of that country, okay, are banker slaves. We're all banker slaves, man. Okay, it says the International Money Fund is an organization of 190 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation. It's all about a global, that one world, secure, yeah, right, financial stability to facilitate international trade, promote high employment, and sustainable economic growth and reduce poverty around the world. Yeah, right. Okay. Give me a break. Okay. As you know, it ain't based off it because 85% of the world's wealth goes to 1% of the population, which are those elite bankers, man. Okay. And that's the main way they keep people in slavery because of what? Their debt, you know? Let's see. I think that's in Proverbs. And we'll go down in that 21-point plan. All right. Let's see. The rich over. Get there real quick. And prophecy go into how this man will move. Okay. But it's the elite bankers that's are the mastermind behind this. All right. This global. All right. This global world order. Okay. Now, when you go to, let me see. There you go. Let's go here. All right, this Proverbs 22:7. It said, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay, so he has 190 countries that have borrowed from his IMF with these crazy interest rates that never be able to be repaid. Okay, and what does that do? That puts their nation in servitude to the lender, which are the elite bankers. When you seen this 2020 lockdown, and you seen all these nations with masks on, those nations are all controlled by these elite bankers. That's why the world has to obey those decrees that went forth. Okay, these were decrees from the bankers. Okay, that's why all nations had to comply. You see, all nations was complying, man. All their leaders was in these meetings with masks. Okay, that was a sign of servitude to the bankers, man. Okay, now let's go here. Um, because scriptures say how this man will get down in the earth, man. When you go to Habakkuk, okay, 2 and 4, okay, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, because the soul of these devils, the spirit is within them, is not upright. Okay, and when you go into upright, going back to the word Yasha 1, okay, means to be righteous. Well, this man is not straightforward in how he deals. Matter of fact, let's get that word. Okay, let's get that word up right. No, let's get this word up right. All right, which is your shar. Okay, and it means what? To be right, to be straight. All right, to be upright, to be just, to be lawful, to be smooth. And he's the exact opposite of this man. This man is all about chaos, dysfunction, war. Okay, to be pleasing, to be agreeable, to be straightforward, to be direct. And he's the exact opposite, man. This man is cunning, he's deceptive. Okay, he's all about trickery, and everything's so goddamn complicated, and he just got layers of deception in the earth. You know, verse 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, his philosophy. And how is he able to spread philosophy, man? All right, because you have these different members of what they call the Illuminati. They've infiltrated, the colleges, the educational program, the food industries, the media. They own all the media. See, they've been able to infiltrate and buy and own and control every facet of reality, man. Okay, it's like Esau has that Thanos reality stone, man. And that's why he's able to have people, you know, with a warped sense of reality, man. People have a very warped sense of reality, man. All right, because he's shoveling madness down your throat at every turn, man. Okay, it says he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap it unto him all people. Okay, and this was always the plan of the elites to gather all the nations, their wealth, their resources, and the manpower of the people of these nations, man. Okay, he's trying to forge the blessing of Jacob. He's trying to forge that with the sword, man, and with his witchcraft. Okay, this is what we see this devil doing. All right, so let's go from there. So let's go back to here. All right, let's go back to the 25-point plan for the NWO. So let's read this again. It says, therefore, after in the year 1773 of our Lord Rothschild, assembled 12 wealthy men in Frankfurt and asked them to commit their resources into the building of the ultimate completion of his New World Order. Furthermore, he then presented his infamous 25-point plan that would enable them to gain control of the world's wealth, natural resources, and manpower. All right. Now, just go into some of them, reading them. It says use violence and terrorism rather than academic discussions. Okay? And that's why when you look on the news, there's always what, a boogeyman. Okay? There's always a part of the news dedicated to the violence. Okay? That's going on domestically, man. Okay? It says preach liberalism to usurp political power. All right? And then all these politicians, run under the banner of liberating you from something, man. Okay? It says initiate class warfare. Okay? Where you have the lower class, the middle class, the upper middle. Okay? And when we see that division amongst them now. Okay? You see that division of these classes, all right, happening now. It says politicians must be cunning and deceptive. Any moral code leaves a politician vulnerable. Okay, politician must be cunning and deceptive. Okay, and this is the people that the masses trust. Okay, the American government is bought and paid for. We're gonna get a video on that, man. These people, and then a lot of these politicians, they go to these colleges, and then they're pretty much use those colleges to recruit the leaders of the world. Okay, the leaders of society. Okay, and they teach them cunning and be deceptive. They teach all these media anchors. They know how to talk in a certain pitch. This is nothing but enchantments, man. Different Hollywood. These Hollywood producers. All these are people of cunning and deceptive, man. You watch a movie. There's things that's in the movies and in the scene that you don't directly look at, but it's going into your subconscious. Like, this is a very deceptive society, man. Okay, everything is set up to be an enchantment. All right, it says dismantle. Now, it's a major one. It says dismantle existing forces of order and regulation. And this all goes, and this was heavily done with feminism because it destroyed the order of family. Okay, and women think that the government just cares so much about them, and nah, man. This is all was a plan of the elites to dismantle existing forces of order and regulation. Okay, that's why it's cool for a child to take hormone blockers. Okay, or a child to get their genitals mutilated. Okay, but a woman that's in order to a husband is made fun of. Okay, a woman that cooks for her husband is made fun of. You know, because the elites use their media, okay, to dismantle existing forces of order and regulation, reconstruct all existing institutions, man. Okay, it says remain invisible until the very moment when it has gained, all right, when it has gained such strength that no cunning or force can undermine it. See, they're to the point now where they just have full control over society because everyone, we all been what, man? Used to the grid. We've been pampered by the grid. And see, the difference between us and everyone else is we have Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, who promises that we're going to eat, that we're going to be good, have abundance in the time of scarcity, man, the time when the earth is suffering, man. Okay? It said use mob psychology to control the masses without absolute despotism. One cannot rule efficiency. Now, let's get this mob mentality. All right, let's get that real quick. What is the mob mentality? All right, so mob mentality is, it says the term is used to describe how humans blindly follow the crowd and take on different manners, follow trends, and buy merchandise based on their circle of influence. The concept of mob mentality was first introduced by social psychologists and groupthink pioneers Gabriel Tarde and Gustave Le Bon in the 1800s. Okay? So mob mentality is when the masses blindly follow the crowd and take on different manners. All right? And they use that through media. Okay? They made smoking cigarettes cool through what? The media. Okay? And they would tell you cigarette had health benefits, all type of madness, man. Okay? And people blindly follow. Okay, the feminist movement, people was blindly following their movement. Women didn't know what that was going to lead to. They just blindly followed it because that's all you seen in the media. That's all you seen in movies and music, heard in music. They blindly followed that. They didn't know what that was going to lead into, man. Okay, street culture, blindly followed, man. Mob mentality. And Esau, he has mastered making something small as if it's the best thing going. Okay, because he can be a march with 50 women. He can set up 50 women to march for women's liberation, but he can make it seem like that's the outcry of every woman in America, man. Okay, and have just the masses of people follow it, man. Niggas voting Democrat. They just doing what the masses do. Okay, so this mob mentality is a heavy part of how this man influenced the earth. Okay, now let's go back. So this is all was set up, and this going back to 1770 when these things were set up. So how much he has them, how much they've mastered, okay, these devices now. Okay. Let's see, step 8, it says advocate the use of alcohol, liquors, drugs, morale, corruption, and all forms of vice used systematically by agenteurs to corrupt the youth. And they use this mainly through rock and roll and now rap. You have rappers that don't even use the drugs, but they rap about it. Okay? Because them drugs open you up to demons, You see? They agenteurs. These rappers are agenteurs. And then these rappers now, because back then, a rapper would have to get, local fame. He would have to garner a fan base, you know, and then he'll blow. But now these niggas just pop up, famous, millions of followers, rich already. Like, goddamn, But it's all to corrupt the youth. Okay. The next generation, it says siege properties by any means to secure submission and sovereignty, foment wars, and control the peace conferences so that neither of the combatants gain territory, placing them further in debt and therefore into our power. Going back to being in debt to the IMF. It said choose candidates for public office who will survive and servile and obedient, who will be servile and obedient to our commands, so they may be readily used as pawns in our game. Yeah, all these leaders set up are nothing but pawns in the game. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X's, all these people are pawns in the game. Okay, we're pawns in the game. All these new leaders that pop up, even some Israelite groups, they're just pawns in the game. Okay, and this is what, when you link to the 501c3, you're linking to this agenda, man. Okay, it said use the press for propaganda to control outlets of public information while remaining in the shadows clear of blame. Okay, and they give you Joe Biden to blame, Trump to blame. Okay, they give you the George Bush to blame. You know, but they're in the shadows making the real moves. That make the masses believe they have been the prey of criminals, then restore order to appear as the saviors. And see, they're going to do this with this sea hilt, man. Okay, they're going to have these false flags and all these different things happening, and you know, agent provocateurs. They're going to have all these things happening to cause chaos, and then they're going to come in with the pseudo salvation with that sea hilt, man. That karama. Okay, it says create financial panics, use hunger to control, to subjugate the masses, infiltrate Freemasonry to take advantage of the grand, or see, keep going. It says, when the hour strikes for our sovereign Lord of the entire world to be crowned, their influence will banish everything that might stand in the way. And these devils are ready to come straight out with it, man. It said use systemic deception, okay, high sounding phrases, all right, what they say, conspiracy theory, and popular slogans, anti Semitic, okay, uh, 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 they say transphobic, you know, different phobics, they say, you know. It says the opposite of what has been promised can always be done afterward, that is of no consequence. A reign of terror is the most economical way to bring about speedy subjection. Masquerade as political, financial, and economic advisors to carry out our mandates with diplomacy and without fear of exposing the secret power behind national and international affairs. Okay? Ultimate world government is the goal. It will be necessary to establish huge monopolies so even the largest fortunes of the Goyim, what they call the people Goyim, which is cattle, will depend on us to such an extent that they will go to the bottom together with the credit of their governments on the day after the great political smash. Okay? These devils got a lot of wickedness coming down the pipe, man. Okay? It's the use of economic warfare, rob the Goyim of their land, properties, and industries with the combination of high taxes and unfair competition. Okay? It says make the Goyim, all right? That's a Goyim going into cattle, which they refer to people or the sheeple. It said make the Goyim destroy each other, so there will only be the pro prolet proletariat, which that goes into the working class, all right, left in the world with a few millionaire devoted to our cause and sufficient police and soldiers to protect our interests. Okay. So this devil, this devil is scheming and plotting, man. Okay, and he's been doing it for centuries, man. All right, they ain't just jump on the scene, man. They he saw true to this, man. So I want to get this quick video real quick. All right, and then we'll get some precepts before we end it off. But I want to get this real quick. So I'm gonna let this play. And this happened in 1871 to show you that the elites have owned America full full lock and barrel, man. Okay, they own this place, man. They bought and paid for America's in the pockets of the elite. All right, banking cartel, man. Okay, so I'm gonna play this and then we'll get some precept.
This was all masterfully planned and executed. During the Civil War, the Constitutional Republic abandoned Congress, which forced President Lincoln to issue martial law. At this time, the Republic was taken over by foreign insurgents who replaced it with the United States of America, Inc., in all caps, in 1871. A corporation that had the same name, the United States. What better way to replace it without anyone noticing that they just got turned into a business and commercialized? Now, this corporation was later purchased by the banking powers behind the Fed in 1912. The Fed was created in 1913. Why did this happen? Well, the US was bankrupt when we sold the United States to foreign banking cartels, if you will. Salvage liens were placed on every asset. Check this out, including the people of the new federalized states. Now let's fast forward to 1933. An income tax was placed on the people to pay these foreign bankers who own the IMF, which owns the IRS. Look into what the IRS actually is. Who is the IMF owned by? You got to follow the money. Who funds it? It's the same people that own the United States Inc. Same few families, and they're not American. So when I say foreign insurgents, that's what I mean. So 1933, USA Inc. goes bankrupt. An income tax is placed on its people. In other words, you and I were turned into property. Look it up. We were turned into cattle, and we were collateralized in order to turn us, humans, flesh and blood, into a means of paying off a massive debt. But the problem is that while you are technically a person, you've entered into contracts that you're completely unaware of, such as your birth certificate, social security number, etc., that are all saying, I consent to being collateralized. You're living as property, as opposed to living as a blood and flesh natural being. On paper, you are property. You are a corporation right now. You might be hearing this and thinking, we're fucked. We're property? Are you kidding me? And that's true. And property doesn't have rights. But here is both the blessing and the curse. There
So you hear that? Okay. Hey. Proverbs 22:7. If a brother can post that, we can get that again. You know, I got another video I want to queue up. So America in 1871, you had America go from the United States of America to the United States of America Inc. Incorporated. Okay. And it became a corporation and it was funded by the elites. And when they went bankrupt, America went bankrupt, they collateralized the citizens. Okay, so that's why every America is born into debt. Okay, Social Security, no, those are all contracts of us being collateral, man. Okay, that's why niggas talking about we free and self-made, and no, you collateral. Okay, that's why I call the people goyim. All right, cattle. All right, so let me get another. I got one more video to show how they control the masses. All right, just gonna play the first few minutes of it. Yeah.
You write in manufacturing.
All right, get this real quick. Yep, as we read earlier, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is subject to the lender. Okay, so everyone is pretty much debt slaves in this society. Okay, on the elite banking families, man. They put the nations, they put the governments in debt, and the governments, all right, what do? They collateralize the citizens, man. Okay, this is one big snare. This is one big trap, and you Americans going to find out the hard way. You don't have no rights, and the American dream is going to be an American nightmare real quick. Okay, and it's ran by the elites. You never had your vote, never counted. It never mattered. Okay, your presidents are all juiced in, and if they get cute, they get their head blown off. Okay, this is how it goes. You see? So I'm gonna play this, and this guy goes to propaganda, which this is a major way that they push their policy and create what they call the mob mentality. Okay, that mob mentality where people just follow. All right, the masses follow the instructions of a few. Okay, so I'm gonna let the first few minutes of it play, then we'll get some precepts before we get out of here. Um,
You write in Manufacturing Consent that it's the primary function of the mass media in the United States to mobilize public support for the special interests that dominate the government and the private sector. What are those interests?
Well, if you want to understand the way any society works, ours or any other, the first place to look is who's in a position to make the decisions that determine the way the society functions. Societies differ, but in ours, the major decisions over what happens in the society, decisions over investment and production and distribution and so on, are in the hands of a relatively concentrated network of major corporations and conglomerates and investment firms and so on. They are also the ones who staff the major executive positions in the government, and they're the ones who own the media, and they're the ones who have to be in a position to make the decisions. They have an overwhelmingly dominant role in the way life happens, what's done in the society. Within the economic system, by law and in principle, they dominate. The control over resources and the need to satisfy their interests imposes very sharp constraints on the political system and the ideological system.
When we talk about manufacturing of consent, whose consent is being manufactured?
We can, to start with, there are two different groups. We can get into more detail, but at the first level of approximation, there's two targets for propaganda. One is what's sometimes called the political class. There's maybe 20% of the population which is relatively educated, more or less articulate. They play some kind of role in decision making. They're supposed to sort of participate in social life, either as managers or cultural managers, like, say, teachers and writers and so on. They're supposed to vote. They're supposed to play some role in the way economic and political and cultural life goes on. Now, their consent is crucial. It's one group that has to be deeply indoctrinated. Then there's maybe 80% of the population whose main function is to follow orders and not to think, and not to pay attention to anything. And they're the ones who usually pay the cost.
All right, Professor Thompson, no.
and that was the main point I wanted to get. Okay, so you have, he says 20%, okay, that pretty much function, at the top of society. And they have to be heavily indoctrinated. That's why you got to go to school so long to do different things, because you need to be more and more indoctrinated. Okay, what they call higher education, okay, is nothing but indoctrination. Okay, because the Illuminati, okay, those different secret societies at these colleges have all infiltrated, these educational programs to where the people that make the decisions in society are all indoctrinated, all right, by the this what they call enlightenment. Okay, and the people that's higher up, they're fully into Freemasonry and all these different secret societies where they understand a little more about the deception and what's going on. Okay, and then they do pretty much instruct the other people on what they should think and believe. Okay, 80%, which they say they don't even want the 80% to think. Just follow instructions, man. Okay, and that's how this thing is set up. Okay, they'll let you entertain yourself all you want. You could party and BS all you want. Okay, but they don't really want you to think. Okay, they don't want you to be concerned about real, all right, matters. Okay, that's why you see there's no uproar about the poison that they have in the grocery stores that they put in the masses of the food. There's no uproar about that. But here it is, niggas die every day over nothing. But then when they want you to ride, what do? Okay, they spin it in the media, and Jake go tear up, burn things down and tear up the neighborhood. Okay, so they want you to follow instructions. They don't want you to think. And that's why the masses of the people are gone. So let's get a few precepts. All right. Get a few precepts. And that's why Apostle Paul, he made this statement. Let's get this. And because the Lord, let's get this in Romans 11. Because the Lord has allowed Esau to blind the masses, man. Okay, this is Romans 11:7. It says, what then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay, so the Lord has allowed the masses of Israel to be blinded. Blinded by who? Let's go. See, the elect we have obtained truth, and this is why the truth is so precious, man. The 100% understanding of what's going on. Okay, this is precious truth, man. Okay, this is 2 Corinthians 4:3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, the good news, okay, the good news, man, it's a kingdom beyond this, man. It's a society beyond this. It's a reality beyond this BS, man, that we're in. That's the good news, man, that we have a savior, man. Our kinsman, Yahweh Shai, is coming back to deal with the powers that be, man. Okay, and establish righteousness in the earth. Okay. It said, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, okay, in whom the God of this world, Esau, Edom, have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the gospel, all right, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. Okay, so the gospel, the Lord doesn't allow you to understand the gospel, to believe in the gospel, okay? You've been given over to be blinded by the gods of this world, Esau, Edom. Okay? Let's go here. Let's get this 2 Thessalonians 2 and read down. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:7. It said, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, which was those Edomite Romans at the time. And now, hey, they're back. This is Rome 2.0. And America is, like I say, America is the capital of this of this new Roman Empire, man. It says only who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So Esau is allowed to cover the earth in gross darkness, as it says in Isaiah 62. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And that's the prophets that's destroying all this darkness, okay? Because the prophets are likened what to the light, all right, under the order of Yahushua, okay? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, okay? And Esau Edom, you see, with powers and signs and lying wonders, and his technology, his media, there's a major part of his lying wonder. And he comes in the energy of Satan, man. Okay? But mainly the media, the technology, okay, the music video, these are all part of this man power, signs, and lying wonders, man. Okay? It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. And this is speaking to you Israelites, man. Okay, because Esau has gotten the masses of our people to be okay with wickedness, man. Even if they're not committing just atrocious, just this crazy, wickedness. If they're not just doing crazy abominations, they're still okay with it. They're still lining up to vote. They still believe in this system. They want this system to go on. Okay, they have been deceived to be cool with wickedness and unrighteousness, man. It says because they receive not the love of the truth. Because if we love the truth, the more that we get into the truth, the more we hate this society. Okay? It says, and for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie. They all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness, man. Worshiping the beast. Okay? And the least play a major part in this strong delusion on our people, man. Okay, but we have to be thankful more than ever. Okay, we'll get this here. This Colossians 1:12. It says, "Giving thanks unto the Father, which made us meet." You see this? The Lord. These spirits that was predestined from the foundation of the world. All right, the Lord pretty much put in those spirits, the hopeful elect, something within them. Okay, and as our pure minds have been stirred up, is making us meet or worthy to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in life, who have delivered us from the power of darkness. Okay, the power of darkness, man. Esau, Edom, beginning with these elites, Amalek. Okay, wickedness in high places, because we was engulfed in these mindsets, man. Okay, they talk independent woman and street nigga thug. We was the American dream and we was caught up in this madness, man. Westernization, Satanism, man, darkness. But we've been delivered. Okay, now we're waiting for that physical deliverance from Yahweh Shai. But the Lord has spiritually delivered us from the power of darkness, man, and have translated us into the kingdom of His dear Son. Okay, see, we're getting ready. We've been pulled out of the darkness. Okay, so we can be washed with this word. Okay, and prepared for salvation, man. Okay, so that's the point. I think the point been made. All right, but let me put some of these in the description box. As y'all want. And put some of these videos in the description box. The comment. So if y'all want to go, watch. And, you can watch the rest of this with this guy, Professor Komsky Noam, if I'm saying it right. But he has a few videos breaking things down. Okay, if that's something that you that you into. All right. Well, I'll just leave them here. All right, and I'll leave a link to this article as well. You gotta know the enemy. This war, this spiritual war. You gotta know the enemy, man, and his tactics. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, hey, and the water for putting me on that Brighton. I think that was like, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Sister put me on that Brighton. There's a lot of gems over there, from time to time. The water for that. The water you brothers tuning in, adding to the screen, you sisters tuning in, in obedience. All right. Hey, water gonna get us out of here, man. So yeah, that's the point. Lord will, you brothers and you few sisters were edified. Once again, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation, and hopeful elect Shalom.